Hello and welcome to the Tavern, everybody. How we doing this evening?
Cheers, y'all.
Aloha. What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Aloha. It's not the Sony Open right now.
It's not. You're right.
What's everybody drinking tonight?
I got a cup that looks like this.
Yeah, that's been played out. We've had that. It's
with,
just a silly place.
with wheat beer in it. With some wheat beer in it.
I'm drinking local craft beer tonight out of Peachtree Brewing out of Knoxville, Iowa. This is a Belgian style blonde ale.
I got my Sazerac rye.
Ooh.
You know, Lee, I feel like we all feel that way right now.
Oh shit.
We got a good show tonight. What are we doing here? I see a towel tag grab.
Yeah, we just spilled. We had a party foul.
You had a party foul.
Party foul right off the bat.
Are we cutting? Is the bartender cutting you off at the tavern?
Bartender's cutting me off at the tavern tonight. That's
that's
happening.
Those circus midgets can't hold their liquor.
Oh god, that's
blame Ollie.
Towel tag. I'm not blaming my son. Hell no.
I do.
So Dave, let's recap. So New Orleans. Anybody get a chance to watch New Orleans this past weekend?
New Orleans, good.
I wanted to watch Daly and Duvall, but that didn't seem to go so well.
No, it did not seem to go so well. They
had a train wreck.
They had a good bro hug at the end of it.
You could have watched them. They were one of the featured groups on ESPN Plus on Thursday and Friday.
But I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch them on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I watched a little bit over the weekend. I spent some time on the golf course this weekend, but I got to watch a little bit of it over the weekend. And I have to tell you, like, these two-man events, especially when you get these tour players better ball and you get them to be aggressive better ball, there were birdies left and right. All of a sudden, like, somebody's 4 shots back. Next thing you know, they're a shot back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a lot going on this weekend. So I actually enjoy the event. The golf course was the golf course. I mean, it's a great test of golf. There's some fun holes that set up great for that format, a couple drivable ones. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on that it made it fun to watch.
I think one of my favorite comments coming out of it, whether he actually said it or not, is Matt Fitzpatrick on choosing his brother as his partner. Mom made me do it.
I mean, it's not a bad reason to pick your partner, and they actually played pretty well. Let's be real.
The first 3 days they played well. On Sunday they fell off.
Right. And that alternate shot format is going to test every part of your game. If you have a weakness in it, it's going to get found.
And I think, the three of us have talked about this, and listening to the broadcast, even ESPN was commenting on it that Zach Johnson needs to take notice of some of these pairings that are out here, and that the Ryder Cup really needs to make this event a focus like the internationals do for
President's Cup has definitely made it a focus. Ernie Els did that a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's a bad idea.
I'm sitting there and I'm just like, wow, I armchaired quarterback this, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well,
so
we
I've said that all along.
That.
Yeah. So congrats, first time winners. Getting it done this week. That's huge. Exemptions that come along with that. So great for them. There's that group that didn't make the cut.
No.
I don't know how that group that have been playing so well as of late just didn't even make the cut.
No.
Yeah.
I think Bourbon Street was calling their name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been it. There could have been a little. I think, they both probably, yeah.
Do you think, here's the thing. Do you also think, that for people that have been playing at such a high level, then you get to a team event where you have to almost play differently and think about it differently, which is why, like we said, it's a good test for the Ryder Cup. Does it change your mentality and your game might not be ready for that at that time?
I think the hard part is, okay, alternate shot. You hit a tee shot on one, right? You hit a tee shot on one. Let's say you snap hook driver off the first hole. You get to 3, it's a par 3. So you're still not hitting a driver yet. Your next tee shot is on 5. And what's the last driver you've hit that you've hit was a snap hook. Like getting over that mentally from a alternate shot perspective makes it very difficult out there to compete. It makes it like the average person, all of us, if we went out and tried to play alternate shot, which would be hysterical. But if we went out and tried to do it, like you aren't, because you're not hitting every shot, do you have the same focus that you would putting a peg in the ground on one and going?
Well,
And
I played alternate shot in January, for a little bit.
See, that was my point.
Yeah.
Did you play alternate shot or did you play a scramble?
We play modified alternate where you teed off on every hole.
No, in our afternoon for my father-in-law's tournament is you played alternate shot in the afternoon.
Okay, because that was the point.
Yeah, you played.
Is a lot of people think alternate shot and scramble are similar.
No,
when they're really not. It's a completely different game plan. It's a completely different mindset. And to Steve's point, you hit driver on every hole in a scramble.
Yeah, because I ended up having the par 3s at Falcons on the front 9.
That is, whoever was your captain planned that out perfectly.
Yeah, I found the water. I found the water on both.
That's true.
But you also didn't have your new sub 70 irons for that.
I did not have my new sub 70 irons.
So that will be a different scenario there.
I gotta watch. There's a video.
I'll just hit it farther into the water.
Stacked Golf on YouTube. They did a review of sub 70s playing Oak Trail. So
no, it was Magnolia.
It was Magnolia. That's right. It was Magnolia.
It was Magnolia.
I gotta go watch that.
And the 14 holes
we're all familiar with.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Until they reopen with 4 new holes. Yeah, 4 new holes when they reopen.
4 new holes. It's the backside because they had to widen that road out there.
Lee, we've been to your garage. I'm kind of concerned on what that magic dust is.
There's that.
That dust that comes off of the engraving gets to you.
But yeah, no, it's yeah. So New Orleans was a fun week. Fun tournament to watch.
Let's go to Mexico.
Let's go to Mexico.
I mean, we go from New Orleans, which has like Bourbon Street and Mardi Gras, to like Cancun, and we're basically going on every spring break tour is what we're going on.
Correct. Like where's Panama City? Like they don't have an event.
You got the Waste Management in Arizona. You got like
you go Hilton Head to New Orleans to Mexico.
Yeah.
After what was the Florida swing and then San Antonio.
Yeah. I do question the tour sometimes. And, there was they're scheduling behind some stuff because I think and we've talked about this, especially with like talking about the Ryder Cup and talking about changing events so that you can focus more on teams and things like that for the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup, like moving some of these events around. And I think it would help. So
yeah. Hey, just bring up another topic before we move on to this week. LPGA had their first major last weekend. And it was their first time not in the desert at the Dinah Shore. And they were in Texas and won by a girl who literally almost quit the game a couple years ago. And they still jumped, although it wasn't Poppy's Pond.
No, I saw the jump into the,
I like the little platform.
Yeah, well, here's my thing. And let's talk about this. Are you jumping into a pond in Houston?
If I win a major, I'm jumping in anywhere. I'll jump into the Hudson.
I'm talking about snakes and alligators in Houston.
I'm pretty sure that what they're jumping into is probably like man-made.
Nah, that one didn't look like it was.
Okay.
At the end of the day, what's a little gator bite?
I was more worried about the water moccasins because the gator's gonna, if you splash like that, the gator's gonna leave anyway. It's too big of a splash. But the water moccasin is the one that scares me.
But
we've all been on a course with a water moccasin before.
Yeah.
Yes. Not a fan.
Speaking
No.
of Texas, everyone's favorite Texas quarterback did win the Celebrity Invitational this weekend.
He did. Tony did.
Tony did.
Funny, I had a conversation with Sunday afternoon. I was talking with Adam Benza, who is Chad Pfeiffer's caddy for those events, and Chad didn't get invited to play, but Adam and I were talking about it, and he's played in that tournament before.
Yeah.
That golf course there's a reason the PGA Tour doesn't play there anymore.
Yeah.
We'll just say that. I'd be surprised if they don't move it.
Since we're talking about NFL quarterbacks, I would just say for my team, the New York Giants, we want to say we're sorry to the New York Jets for what they're going to have to put up with after their trade today.
Yeah.
What is it with the Jet? Okay, I'll go down this road.
They're the retirement team for the Packers.
As someone who grew up in New England, I will definitely go down this road. First off, the Jets don't know how to draft a quarterback, and then they always get a washed-up quarterback at the end of their career that thinks that they're going to resurrect and win a Super Bowl.
Can I say, when they draft a quarterback, they think they're drafting the greatest quarterback in the draft.
Come on, we all knew Zach Wilson wasn't going to be able to see over his offensive line. I mean, let's be real.
But fumble.
Hey, Sanchez wasn't bad at USC.
No, they're all great.
I'm not going to give
quarterbacks.
Sanchez the.
Hey, and I'm just saying this as a Dolphins fan. More power to the Jets.
I'm saying as a Giants fan, you're making the Daniel Jones deal look better.
Right. Like, and how long does this Aaron Rodgers experience last? 2 years, you think? I give it one. I give it Brett Favre one.
Here's my point with Aaron Rodgers. Daniel Jones had a okay offensive line finally last year and no wide receivers, and they made the playoffs. Then you have Aaron Rodgers, who he actually had wide receivers last year, and pretty good ones, especially some rookies.
Well, and now most of the wide receivers are with the Jets.
That's true. They drafted everything.
That's true.
So he's gonna do the same thing. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But all right, let's move on to Mexico.
Mexico. Viva la Mexico.
Viva la Mexico.
All right. Dave, who do you think has the best odds this week?
Well, I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count.
Is it
the defending champion? The defending champion and has his green jacket with him.
I'm gonna say it is Tommy Two Gloves. Tommy Two Gloves has
Tommy Two Gloves would be a great pick, but no.
He was an alternate that actually made it. So
yeah, it is.
But he got in as an alternate on a sponsors exemption. So does that tell us where we are? Like, they're giving out sponsors exemptions to the alternates.
Yeah. It is Rambo at not quite 3-1. He's
1-to-1 odds.
1-to-1 odds.
1-to-1 odds. Come on.
I don't even think that you two could guess the next 2 on 2 and 3.
I'm gonna guess Finau.
Gary Woodland.
Ooh, Finau. Yes, Finau is number 2 at 7.5 to 1. Gary Woodland is 4.
Okay.
Who's 3?
Let's say Luke List.
No.
Okay.
Ben On.
Nope.
Let's say Alex Noren.
Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark. Okay.
Coming in
off of last week, yes.
Coming in at 18 to 1. Those are your top 3: Rambo, Finau, and Clark. So
Wyndham Clark over Gary Woodland. That's okay.
Woodland at 25 to 1. Greg, you still have the honors.
I'm taking Gary Woodland. That's who I'm going with this week.
Okay.
Because this field it's a big field. But it's a lot of players I feel I haven't seen in a while that in like the early 2000s had some greats. Were on the top 50. And then there's John Rahm. So
I'm gonna Dave, I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a walk on the wild side and take John Rahm.
Dig yourself out of that hole.
I'm taking John Rahm.
John Rahm.
Yep.
2.6.
Wait, Dave, are you still in third?
I'm still in third.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Just go ahead and take Finau. Just do it.
Yeah, it's probably the best choice.
Right.
You know,
we were saying
I was thinking about going out on a limb here a little bit.
Aaron Badley.
And going down to Bo Hosler.
Okay.
But that Bo Hosler was my backup pick. I'm going to go with Finau.
Okay.
Okay.
That
was an easy one. 3 of the top 4 picks this week. Yep.
All right.
It's an interesting field this week. So
it is an interesting field.
But it brings.
Lee, who do you got money on this week?
Yeah, Lee. Who's Lee picking?
Because I have put some of Lee's picks down in there. Rob, welcome, Rob.
Yeah.
Shank and Duff show
Shank.
in the house.
So with this field, with like these designated events, with this, are you seeing more of these? Like, are they becoming second tier events where you have some top players and then you have your middle of the pack players, and then what I'm seeing here is a lot of last year's Corn Ferry players, which I'm happy for, and I think they need to be in more of this stuff, but I'd like to see them play against the best.
It's one of those. This is one of those tournament. Like if you've played, Augusta, Hilton Head, and Zurich, this is the week that you take off, unless you're John Rahm.
But here's the thing: is Rahm had a lot of. He has the media. He's had a lot of stuff going on. He played well in Harbortown.
Yeah.
And so, but
I want to see John Rahm on the Spanish announce team at the end of the 4th round.
I'm not going to lie. If John Rahm wanted to say, "Hey, I'm not playing. I'm just going to announce," I'm going to watch. I'm fine with that. I'm going to watch the whole event.
Win for that? Is that winning?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's. It's what's going on there. What's up, Will?
Hey, Will.
I love you too.
I'll be right back. Keep talking about the field. I'll be right back.
So I will say the field out here.
It's an interesting field. Now, speaking of Corn Ferry.
Yeah.
Did you see the article on golf.com on with the mishap at the Corn Ferry?
No.
And it involved Boo Weekly as well too.
Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, I did see that. And that is
that 6 players got penalized because there was a courtesy cart off of one. Now they didn't have a locker room to go change in. And so there weren't notices posted in a locker room, but all the players got the notices. There was a volunteer sitting in one of the courtesy carts waiting for a group to put out. And they said, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to ride?" And they all jumped in the cart. He took them to the tee box on the next hole, and then they got penalized.
There's a worse story about that, though, because the other problem was they had a courtesy cart from 7 to 8
for the tee box, right?
Because the tee box is so far away from the green.
Yeah.
So they already had one on the golf course. There wasn't one designated from 18 to 1.
No.
And when you made the turn, you had to walk it.
Yeah.
There were 3 courtesy carts staged there for the players to hop in to go to the first tee.
Here's the thing. If you're going to have courtesy carts in a tournament, which is good because I think a lot of courses do need them, especially for pace of play and a lot of things that go on, you can't fault a player if you're focused on your round. You're not going to remember what holes are the courtesy carts are and aren't on. So,
and here's the thing:
there needs to be an official with you.
Yeah, one of the guys that got penalized ends up missing his PGA card because of that penalty.
He misses out
getting it.
Well, he misses because he can't get in any other events now unless he
gets shuffled out in the reshuffle.
Right.
And I'm going to say it this way: you should have played better. You should have played better. You don't get to that point, and then and because you missed the cut by a shot now because of that, you should have played better earlier. That's all it comes down to. So I mean, it's not the course of one tournament; it's the course of multiple tournaments. So there's other ways to look at that. I just think that when you look at what they did, if you've already got a courtesy cart on the golf course, come on, let's be smarter there.
Yeah,
like you got to have if it's there, if someone tells you that and you see other players doing it, I mean, you gotta just. It's not. Here's the thing, it's not giving you that much of an advantage.
no.
When I caddied at Tranquilo, they had courtesy carts from 2 to 3, and then going from 17 to 18. Which makes sense there. We've all played that golf course. There's that long bridge.
Yep.
Those are the only courtesy carts on the golf course. Now, where 1 and 18 are compared to the clubhouse, it doesn't matter at that point. But they had them going back and forth for the players and the spectators, actually. They had them for both.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so
with that being said, I think we move on to happy hour.
I think it's time for happy hour.
Yay, more beer.
That was perfect timing.
Is it 2 for $1? $2 off? What are we looking at?
So here in Indiana, you can't have like a happy hour. You can't have a designated time with a drink special. It has to be all day.
Yeah.
You can't do like a happy hour here in Indiana by state law. It's
everybody down here is trying to be creative and add more hours to their happy hour to get more people in now. That's the new thing on in the attractions area.
That's
here's
like
the
Major
thing.
League Baseball trying to add. They're moving games like into the 8th inning for beer sales versus 7th inning.
Well, yeah, because it's going by so much faster. That actually makes sense.
Yeah. Here's my way around that. Own your own bar.
We should own a bar.
I do. Own a tavern.
I do.
Well, let's we've got a special guest here, Nate.
Nate, welcome in.
Everyone.
Welcome in, Nate.
How you doing, Nate?
Yeah, hey, good. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the tavern.
Thanks for joining us.
Can you guys hear me okay before
Nate,
we get to
Yeah, we got you just fine.
You're good. We got you good.
All right, sounds good. I'm in the library studying room right now, and service is spotty, so I just want to make sure you guys can hear me.
Life of a college student, huh?
We've all been there.
How about it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure Dave knows where a library is.
I knew where the library was.
Did you know where the library was in Orlando? That's the Speakeasy?
Yes, I did.
I've been there.
Yeah, of course you did.
I've been to that one.
Oh, nice. All right, so Nate, you're here with Acorn Hills, and we're really excited. New clothing company. You've kind of been making the PR rounds between podcasts, the Weather Channel, everything else. You've been pretty busy lately with media responsibilities. So thank you for fitting us in here.
Well, hey, thanks for having me, guys. And trust me, that's the only way to truly grow is to get your word out there with people who want to listen, and hopefully it just picks up and keeps going from there.
Nice. So we're going to jump right in here. So obviously you're a college student, but why don't you tell us about Acorn Hills and the brand and kind of how you started it and the why behind it?
Yeah, so growing up, I was from very rural part of PA, very country. I know, Greg, we talked prior about how you went to Penn State, so you're familiar with the landscape here, the rolling hills, and very country-esque part of the United States. And I've always been obsessed with the outdoors and clothing. But I thought, why couldn't I combine the two? And I knew brands out there were already doing this. You have the Cabela's, you have the Patagonias, North Faces, things like that. But also in the same time too, where golf came into play was this idea. I'm a collegiate golfer. I've always played golf all my life, and I like to look good on the golf course too. And I thought, why can't you just combine the two, have some sort of apparel for any outdoor activity? So, that kind of got tabled when I was in high school, just kind of an idea, just a pipeline dream. And pretty soon, I came to college my freshman year, and I thought, I should start this. And I thought, well, I'll just start simple. So I started with a little notebook and wrote down my ideas. And pretty soon, this first semester of my sophomore year, I actually took the leap and started it and reached out and secured manufacturers all over the world and partnered with the National Forest Foundation. And now with the C tag, I don't know if you guys watched my Weather Channel interview, but I'm kind of getting famous from the C tag idea that I have, where someone's giving back to nature in itself. So it's honestly just a growing process every day, but it's such a great thing.
That's awesome. I mean, and I went to Penn State. Dave's from Pennsylvania. My mom's from Pennsylvania, so
I've been there once.
Yeah, you were there with me.
Recommend going, Steve.
Yeah,
Recommend
we
going.
don't talk about that weekend.
Nate, we don't allow him into Pennsylvania. He's,
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't want
cut
him
off.
there.
That's okay.
We don't allow those.
All my
Boston
products
fans.
shipped in PA, Steve. So if you ever need anything, you'll get a little taste of PA if you order some stuff.
sounds good. Sounds good.
He might catch fire.
So Nate, with all of the clothing manufacturers out there, what makes Acorn Hills different? Like, how do you stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Greg. That's a great question. Is you said about me making my rounds on PR and stuff. That's a question I've been getting asked, and the answer is, I'm not going to be crazy different from a Patagonia or Cabela's, and essentially all those brands offer the same thing, but it's the mission that is behind it all. So like the C tag, my taglines: look good, feel good, do good, and the 3 words can be arranged any way you want it to be. So when you look good, you're more likely to feel good about yourself, and when you feel good about yourself, you're more likely to spread that with someone else. And I'm just encouraging you to get there with my clothing. And with the seed tag, I practice what I preach. How you guys are, someone orders my clothing and you plant that into the ground, and a couple of weeks you have a thing of wildflowers from all over the world. But how do I preach that myself? Is with the National Forest Foundation, I partnered with every item that's ordered on my site. I plant like a sapling tree. It's called the sapling program. So that's kind of how I do good. So I think that's kind of a separator, is that I'm just this genuine company trying to legitimately do good.
That's awesome. And I mean, I like that you said you started with a notebook, because I feel a lot of great companies, a lot of great things. That's how they start. You get an idea, you write it down, and you let it grow from there. It doesn't grow overnight. Like,
Tell the 3 of us are sitting here right now.
That's true.
Exactly. And Greg, just to keep touching on it, throughout this podcast, maybe count how many times you say grow, and that could also be a tribute to why I called it Acorn Hills, because everyone's always growing. So it's also a play on words. So maybe now I'll start counting how many times you say grow, and it'll be amazing what you can do with that.
That's the thing. It keeps growing and growing. It's just like you plant that tag, and it grows, and that's how your company's going to keep going.
So, Nate, and following up with what, you're talking about with Greg, proud Pennsylvania boy. I'm from outside Scranton, Wilkes-Barre originally, and I still like to call that home. But, you touched on the tag, and you're planting the tag in wildflowers. Do you have any concerns as you're shipping across the country from an environmental standpoint of planting the tags in somewhere they may not grow? Or are these designed to kind of work everywhere as an inside or outside plant?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I hope this is the answer you're looking for, Dave. Is yes, they can grow anywhere. Right now, there's 6 species of flowers that are in that tag, and they can be found on my website. But there's some common ones like catch fly and things like that are in those tags that can essentially grow anywhere that's cared for, whether it's inside or outside. So primarily, the species of flowers is for North America. So right now, I'm only shipping domestically in the United States, and that's just for the seed reason, to avoid with customs and things like that. But as far as growing them, they can be grown inside, or you can just, if it's raining one day and you want to take it outside and put it into the ground, that's an option too.
I just, for me, it's just, giving back. We've seen so much with the deforestation of things, and here as a college student, you're trying to give back into something moving forward down the line that'll be here well after we're all gone.
So Nate, I'm going to ask a question as to sorry, Nate.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Dave. Even someone buys my product, and say for as unfortunate it would be, they throw the tag away. Well, eventually it's going to get to the landfill and go into the ground anyways. So it's an inescapable thing. So for me, I think it's a great thing.
I think it's awesome that you added something so simple as a tag in the back that you can plant and can give back. Like your product not only is great, but it gives back to the environment.
Yeah, and I read, reading your bio and everything on the website that
it's the hand tag. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah. Well, even your packaging is biodegradable.
Correct. Yep. But the hang tag, the hang tag itself is what the seed paper is. The clothing tag isn't the paper. I wish it was. I feel like that might be a little uncomfortable though if it was.
So when we talk about the clothing, I'm the fat guy in the group. So
you are.
Well, that both of us, yeah. And Greg's 6'3", 4, something like that.
6'5".
Okay, 6'5". I was wrong. How true to size does your line run?
Yeah, and that's Steve, that's a great question. Like the pictures you have up here that pull on the quarters are just from the manufacturer that I have. They do tend to run about a size big, I would say. Right now I'm, for reference, I'm 6'1", 185, and I feel like I'm pretty athletic. And in the quarter zip, if I want to have like a tighter fit, I'll go to a small. And then if not, I want to have a looser fit for golfing, I'll go to a medium. And same thing with the polo. And that's just, kind of, I usually wear a snug medium. So I'd say about a size. But right now I have up until, for both of them, up through like 2X right now, small through 2X. And the t-shirts I have, actually, I just released t-shirts today. They just got shipped in, so I can take the pre-order label off my site, and they're officially here. But they're the same thing. They're small to 2X, and they're true to size though.
Well, Nate, that's perfect because that leads into my next question. Besides golf, I've saw some other things. I mean, I saw this little Yoda tag. It's sold out, but I thought that was kind of cool on there. But besides golf stuff, and you said you have t-shirts, what else do you offer at Acorn Hills?
Yeah, and Greg, the golf, just because me being a college golfer, playing golf all my life, coming out of high school, I had 2 NIL deals with 2 clothing companies, and so I knew a little bit about golf clothing, and so that's kind of where my first year launch went towards, was this golf clothing, and I'll continue that. It's just to build out on my website, but really this is apparel for any outdoor activity. So right now I have three shirts being designed. They're in the process of production that they're kind of some cool designs of like Bigfoot fishing and a camping and campfires, and then of course to build out with golf. So that's kind of the way I'm heading. And then I also have a couple hats in production as well. So there's constantly a lot behind the scenes, maybe the normal website visitor doesn't necessarily see, but trust me, there's a lot of things going to be added, and it'll be good.
Nice.
So, you touched on your NIL, deals coming out, and how hard has it been to, being a college student and running a clothing line while trying to play golf while in college as well too?
Yeah, I will put a little asterisk on that, Dave. And I don't want to sit here and just read off a resume, but I also work in the marketing department here, and so add that to the list. And once in a while, I'll play the school mascot. So I'm doing a whole bunch of things plus the golf and then I recently,
we've all been there.
Yeah, in the spring, I founded the business club here on campus. It wasn't existent before I came here. I thought, well, I always wanted to have that. So I grew that to about 40, 50 members. So I'm president of that as well. So I'm constantly busy. But, as far as balancing it, growing up probably about 15 years old, I've been working since I'm about 15. And I've always been balancing school and work. So for me, that time management skill of maybe when I was younger working at Walmart really came into factor with this, especially. But also with that too, is I had to find out some outlets for me to relieve some stress. So a lot of times I play guitar or I'll hang out with friends or whatever. So it is tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say it's easy and it's all sunshine and rainbows, because obviously it's not. But it is such a rewarding thing.
It's always worth it.
Yeah. So Nate, you've got a ambassador program with Acorn Hills. You want to talk about that? Who are your ambassadors now? Kind of where's that going?
Yeah, so my ambassadors, right now, just being as small as I am, I can't send out any free gear shipments. That's definitely an option down the road. But for me, being very internally financed, it'd be like I would be giving away any sort of revenue that I could grow the business. So these people were just people that I connected with through Instagram via DM or friends of friends who just were shared this like-minded mission with me that, you know, they didn't care if they had to pay a couple dollars to get the gear, but they supported the mission and they supported what I was doing. And that's kind of where it started to grow from there, the ambassador program. And since then, I've opened it up to anyone on Instagram that wants to apply. What I do is usually I give them 2 discount codes, one personally for them, and then one for them to put in their bio for their followers and people like that. But then also on my end, I put links to their website and kind of give them a shout out and shine on my website as well. So because I feel like a lot of times these ambassadors, at least when I was an NIL person, we're just more or less a pawn. Not that that's targeting any of my NIL deals or anything like that, but you know, they don't get the recognition they deserve, and they're out there supporting, doing the legwork a lot of times for your brand by posting pictures and spreading by word of mouth, and that's essentially what it is. So these people go out and tell their friends of friends, this guy's doing something in college, and this person's doing this, and that's how it gets to grow. So that's a little bit about the ambassador program.
And that's a good thing because that's what this community is about. It's not about competing with one another. It's about playing fair and playing together with to help grow the industry, grow everything. I'm just going to keep using that word for you, Nate.
Thank you.
It's about that. It's about, like, that's why we have you on. That's why we have people on here, is to help spread the message of great products that are out there, great things. Because not only is yours a great product, but it does good for the environment as well. So I mean, it's that motto that you have, that look good, feel good, do good. So like, if we do that, if you do that, like, it helps everyone when we work together instead of trying to work against each other. So like, that's the best thing. So how did you come up with look good, feel good, do good? Like, how did that become your motto?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times I always thought, you know, people always seem happy when they're doing good for others, or at least that's when I'm happy. So if I'm having a horrible day, it's not, you know, when I was younger playing video games that would make me happier, playing on my phone for hours that would make me happier. It's doing some sort of act of kindness for someone else, or feeling that sense of fulfillment that really lifted me up out of that. And really that the clothing that I provide just, I feel, helps you get there. So that's where the look good, feel good, do good comes to play. Because I feel if you know, it starts at the mirror. If you get up in the morning, you put on some Acorn Hills gear, and you look in the mirror and you say, you know, I look pretty good, and then pretty soon you're gonna feel better about yourself, some more self-fulfillment, and you're gonna go out there and try and spread that and be contagious to others.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, if only that motto could translate to my golf game.
Play good. That's what.
So, you know, Nate, I understand, you know, like I said, we'll go back to, you know, being from Pennsylvania, and, you know, I grew up in a small town, and, you know, you found this company in Canada, you know, that makes all your tags for you. How hard has it been being based in Pennsylvania, working with a company in Canada? And how did the two of you come to work together on this?
Yeah, you know, as far as working with the company in Canada, out of all the manufacturers I've worked with, Canada's definitely been the easiest to deal with, because a lot of my products are made overseas, and it's tough because these people want to definitely help, but there are times there are language barriers, and there are times when, you know, at the time zone difference where everyone back here in PA college is going to sleep and studying for a test in the morning. And here I am up on a negotiation call with the vendor. And so it's very tough. You know, a lot of people don't see that, or a lot of times the content that's made from that people don't see. So to answer your question, Dave, I would say it's more difficult than people realize, but not impossible to have that connection. And a lot of times too, with the Paperworks company that I work with over in Canada, they were the best out there, and I wanted the best for my people. If you're going to spend good money on my products, then I want you to, you know, have a good product there, something that actually works, not just some hoax saying that the tag's supposed to do this and never do it. These people have been proven, you know, data has validated that. So that's why I went with them.
Nice.
No, perfect. And I think, you know, I even I deal with companies all across the country. I'm a winemaker by trade, so I'm talking to people in California. I contacts in Italy and France, and I get the time zone difference. But this is what you're doing as a college student, and still making this work. Here I am at 45, and I'm kind of envious of everything that you're accomplishing while still being in school.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It's funny because one of your earlier questions you said about how do I balance it, and really for me, I think college is the best place for me to start this because one, if I fall on my face, it's okay. I can just get up in the morning and go to class. It's really no repercussions of I'm not married.
When I fell on my face in college, it was for a completely different reason.
What was their name? Or how many had you had? One or the other.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great place for me to fail, and I truly stand by that. And trust me, throughout this whole process, I've failed so many times, but I just end up at the library like nights like this, and usually close it down and just try to come up here and brainstorm. And
failure is a learning experience.
Yep,
exactly. Yep. Just trying to learn different perspectives and stitch them together.
Nate, one thing I'm going to say, I'm going to ask you this question. You do all of this, we talked about everything you do to even playing the mascot. Do you love what you do?
Oh, yeah. And I got to put a little asterisk beside that. It's because my first semester I came to college, I hated it. I wanted to drop out. I was not involved. I wanted to transfer, move back home. Now, home's only maybe an hour away, but I wanted to move back home or move somewhere that I thought was going to give me these quote unquote better opportunities. But I think when I really started to live that look good, feel good, do good type motto in my life and really think, okay, well, how can I try and be better than I was the day before is when I got involved little by little. It all didn't happen at once, Greg. I took on one position, then another position, and then I started the company, and pretty soon I started feeling very good about myself. And not to the point where I'm cocky, but inner self, I was like, okay, I'm at the right place, right time. And so that's for me. I really do love what I do. I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world.
And that's what I tell people. If you love what you do, my grandfather told me this was, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And you can do a million things, but if you love it, it's fun. That's what we do here. We just have fun.
Yeah.
Yep. And you said earlier about something simple like the clothing tag. I truly do think that. I wrote a paper in high school about the phrase "think outside the box." I said it was wrong. I think it was 10 pages or something. It was a research paper, but I said it's flawed because I think the correct way should be think inside the box. No one ever wonders what's inside the box. It's just a simple way of thinking. Everyone's so concerned to get out of this box that no one recognizes.
Schrodinger's cat inside the box.
Well, I always used to say the box is dark. I always said the box is dark and scary, so I want to be on the outside.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, before you go, obviously, where can our viewers and our followers, where can they find you? I know we found you. We follow each other on Instagram, but where can they find you if they're looking to buy some clothing to look good, feel good, and do good?
Yeah, like you said, Steve, on Instagram, I'm acorn.hills, just very simple. And then online, you can find me at www.acornhillsco.com. And right now, I just released some T-shirts, so listeners out there, go grab them all.
Nice.
No, we'll make sure we get your link. Yep, there it is.
I'm quick.
I appreciate it.
Putting
Yeah, hey, and anyone out there listening, follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I love the talk. I promise it's not a chat bot on the other end. It's truly me. I do answer all my DMs.
It was a chat bot when you were talking to me, though. I just have a.
No.
The Golfing Dad Tavern. Yeah,
I can't afford a chat bot. Come on.
Nice. Well, Nate, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Well,
and we will be in touch soon. I want to talk about getting into the ambassador program, so let's talk about that at some point here. And we will we'll definitely be in touch over the next couple days. I hope you have an awesome time. Don't spend too much time in the library tonight, and hopefully get back to your dorm room.
You've already spent more time there than I did in 4 years.
That's true.
It's okay. I think before I launched my website there, I launched it in January 1st of 2023 just for tax purposes. And but before that, I was messing all around with softwares and things. I think I had logged over like 5,000 hours. It was unbelievable. But so many nights in the library for sure. But
Dave, did you know where the library was on campus?
I already asked that question, buddy.
Yeah.
I missed that one. Sorry.
It was they had an archive section down in the basement that had a really nice
It was on the
couch.
way to the bar.
Awesome. Well, Nate, thank you.
Nate.
Yeah.
well, hey,
Keep growing this brand and keep making PA proud.
yeah, PA proud. Got to grow.
There you go.
Cheers, Nate.
Cheers.
See ya.
Have a good night, Nate.
Man, I will say that is a great example for anybody that's out there that if you put in the time, you put in the effort to do something you're passionate about, it's fun. It doesn't feel like work. It's exciting. So cheers
and
to
here
you,
he
Nate.
is. He's balancing a full college workload plus the 84 other things, that he's doing. And now it's a successful clothing line.
Yep.
It's great. I mean, he's showing like
hey Rob, are you hanging out there with Brooks Koepka wearing his Schmedium shirt? I mean, let's just
but Rob makes it look good.
Rob does make it look good.
All right. Well, with that, I think it's time for this.
Oh, baby.
And it's time for one more thing before we get to we get 3 topics for tonight.
This is a good one.
All right. Our smack of the week this week is brought to you by the smack of this video. So let's throw it up
52 yards should be just a nice, comfortable 9-iron for him. They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Hold up. He doesn't stop.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't stop.
We need to go back.
Oh.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
I love the fact, dude, that
And he's laughing.
it's the impact position. It's literally an impact when it hits him in the he kept going. Oh, that was good.
He doesn't
saw that.
Come on, man. Oh.
I don't care when that video was from. That's funny.
That's recent. That just came out. That just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, we've talked a lot about the PGA Tour, and we got something pretty interesting coming up here. And this was something that was posted the other day.
Before we get into this, let's talk. After last week's show, we had a conversation about trying to change up some things for last call. So let's talk about what we're going to do going forward. And that is we're going to pick a topic during the week, and we're going to go kind of the PT high around the horn idea of talking about these topics. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have a topic that we're going to pick, and then we're going to go with that. And if anybody has a topic they want us to talk about, throw it out there, send it to us on social media, and we'll definitely, add that into the mix. So
yeah. And this topic, we have 3 that are all kind of live golf related here, but Will Ferrell is putting together a TV show. I believe it's on Netflix. That is loosely based on the Live PGA Tour drama. So this was posted online of someone that said, hey, if I was able to cast for this is what I would cast. So I put it out there to these guys. I said, you can't pick these guys. I mean, you have to pick Will Ferrell because he's obviously in it.
Yes.
I gave him a bunch of names that from Live and PGA that I thought would be fun to have on the show. And we're going to go through and let's pick who we think we would cast.
Yeah. And the point of clarification, I saw on Instagram, a couple different people picked up on that slide. We didn't just steal that from one person. There was quite a few people that stole it from one another. So we're just continuing the traditions of great comedians and stealing material.
we're not stealing material because we're not using all the same players, but it's
No.
a good debate. Yeah. And we said we want to pick our people that we picked for it. So I'm gonna go. Let's go in order of the list that
you sent. Yes.
So we're gonna move the first one down to the bottom just because I like having this first.
Norman at the top.
So
okay. So Patrick Reed's going to be after Phil.
Yeah, Patrick Reed will be after Phil. So Greg Norman. So Dave, who are you casting as Greg Norman?
It's Will Ferrell.
Okay, you're going Will Ferrell as
I'm
Greg
going
Norman.
Will Ferrell as Greg Norman. Yes.
Okay. Steve, who are you casting?
I am going with Crocodile Dundee himself, Paul Hogan.
Ooh. Okay. You're going Aussie for that.
Yes.
I went a different route on this one. I'm going Ricky Gervais.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm going with the comedy. I'm taking like The Office and bringing that in. So I'm going Ricky Gervais for Greg Norman. Because remember, this is a comedy. It doesn't have. They don't have to look comedy, like the person. They don't have to be the same person.
No.
All right. So let's go next. Let's go to the PGA side. Let's go to Jay.
I took Adam Sandler.
Ooh, I like that.
I actually put Will Ferrell in as Jay Monahan.
Yeah.
Okay. I went Steve Carell. I went both the UK office and
I can see that. Yeah.
And the American office as that in there. So I thought that was an interesting one. All right, Tiger Woods. Dave.
Taiki Waititi.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
I really wish you would have had us put a picture up of that.
Well, he's got the Jewish mom and the Hawaiian father, so works out.
It does. That is the most out of left field pick that I would have thought, but I like it. So
yeah,
Steve, who'd you go with?
I went with Alfred Enoch.
Okay.
All
right. I went Keegan-Michael Key.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I also thought about one of the Wayans brothers for Tiger.
I thought about the
Damon.
I thought the younger Damon's son, Damon Jr. That's who I thought for Tiger.
I thought, but I'm like, no, I gotta go YTT.
All right. We got Roars. Who do we got for Roars?
No, Rob, we cannot have RDJ as Tiger. We've had Tropic Thunder. No.
It's the times have changed.
Yes.
Rob. But I like the thought, man.
Rory, I'm actually going with a Brit on this one. I'm going with Tom Holland.
Okay. All right. That's a good one.
All right.
Steve?
I went with going back to Rory's younger years on tour with his really bad hair, Prince Harry.
All right. You're going to love mine then. I went with Ron Weasley himself.
Ooh,
Rupert Grint. Yep. That's nice. Who I said Roars. So, all right. Next, we're going to go DJ. Dave, who do you got for DJ?
I took Captain America himself, Chris Evans.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
I like that.
I went with the newest member of the New York Jets,
Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, good pick. He's more likely to play Keanu Reeves, but okay.
That's true. I went with co-owner of the Wrexham Football Club, Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, Ryan Reynolds. Ooh,
I like Ryan Reynolds for DJ.
Nice.
All right, Harold Varner III.
I took Kevin Hart.
Oh, I like that.
I like that.
That one.
It's a little outside the age bracket, but the height.
Well, a lot of these are outside the age bracket. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
but the height works.
I went with somebody that if it didn't work out, he could break out into a dance, and that's Carlton himself.
Oh, good. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the best one so
that
far.
That might be good,
actually. Yeah. I like that. I will say I took Keegan-Michael Key in the last one. I'm going with Peele in this one.
Nice.
I took Jordan Peele for Harold Varner in this one. So, all right. JT.
Nick Jonas.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. I went with Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey?
A younger Patrick Dempsey?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
A younger Patrick Dempsey.
McDreamy. Okay, you've been hanging out with your wife and my wife too much.
All right. I'm going to give away. I'm going to go with. So mine, if you know this actor and what he has been in, you're going to get who I picked for Jordan Spieth. So JT, I'm going Scott Conn.
Oh, I can
You see where I'm going with this?
I see where you're going with this.
I'm going Ocean's 11. So I'm going to give you, for Spieth, I'm going Casey Affleck.
Nice.
So I'm going to give you my Spieth right there. I'm going Casey Affleck for Spieth. So Dave, who do you got for Spieth?
I'm going old school here, going back Disney Channel. Dylan Sprouse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He owns a
All right.
meadery. He owns a meadery in New York right now. So I'm kind of, hey.
Hey, if that's successful, maybe he doesn't need to do the show with Will Ferrell.
No.
I went with Ryan Gosling.
I'll see your Ryan Gosling in a second.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So we're going Brooksy. Who do we got for Brooksy?
Zac Efron.
All right. I'll give you that. All right. Steve?
I went with the former Miami Hurricane defensive lineman.
The Rock.
The Rock.
I love it. We got Kevin Hart and The Rock on two different of our things here, but that would be great. I just
went
that.
with the whole. I went on the whole medium shirt idea. Okay.
Oh. Man, I went with Chris Pratt.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I went
That's a
Chris
good
Pratt.
pick.
Not Parks and Rec Chris Pratt. Guardians Chris Pratt.
Guardians Chris Pratt. Okay.
All right, so Bryson DeChambeau.
So I'm playing off of my picks from Brooks here as who could be the most annoying person to Zac Efron. I went with Ryan Gosling in this one.
Okay, all right. All right, Steve, who do you got?
I went with Jonathan Lipnick.
Jonathan Lipnicki? The kid
Like
from
the kid from Show Me the Money?
Show Me the Money?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I went.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I went with Allstate Mayhem.
Oh.
Dean Winters.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
That's
good
who I
pick.
went with.
That's a good pick. I like that.
Not
Good
the right age, but out there. So
Yes.
all right. Pat Perez. You guys are not going to believe my pick on this one.
Well,
You're not gonna believe mine either.
Being this is a Will Ferrell comedy, John C. Reilly.
Okay. All right.
I
That
went
makes
with
sense.
Zach Galifianakis.
Ooh, good pick.
I thought about him for somebody else too, but I actually didn't use him at all.
Yeah.
I went with Luis Guzman.
Really?
Yeah. He does some funny stuff, and I think it wouldn't be like Pat Perez.
You know who I thought about? I thought about Fluffy at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one crossed my mind. I thought, do I go Fluffy?
But I had to use John C. Reilly because this is a Will Ferrell comedy. Had to use him.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going to go Patrick Reed here, and then we'll do Mickelson last.
Okay.
So Patrick Reed, who do you got, Dave?
I got Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe.
Really? Okay.
He just played Weird Al. He can rock kind of a little bit of the curly hair. I just think that would be interesting.
That's a good way to put it. He can do some. I thought you would have went with him for Roars.
I went with Jonah Hill.
That wasn't that the pick? You can't go.
You can't use Jonah Hill.
We said you couldn't use Jonah Hill right there. Can't use him.
You can't use Jonah Hill.
He's just.
It is a good pick though.
It's a good pick, but you can't use Jonah Hill.
All right.
Ooh. Lee, who do you have Jim Carrey for?
Lee, you're saying Jim Carrey for Patrick Reed?
That's it.
All right. So my Patrick Reed, I'm going with Bowser himself, Jack Black.
Ooh, Jack Black. That's a good pick.
That's a good one, yeah.
Jim Carrey for Bryson.
Okay. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that. I liked Jack Black as Patrick Reed. I thought about that one. I did. But I went a little bit more age appropriate.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like the humor and playing off the satire of stuff. So
Yeah.
I like all these picks. I think we did a good job with
Yeah.
this. So all right. Last
Phil.
but not least, Phil. Dave.
Iron Man himself, RDJ.
Robert
Okay.
Downey. I like it.
Robert Downey Jr. as Phil.
All right.
I went with Pierce Brosnan.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. You're going Bond on this one. All right.
Yeah, I went Bond. I went 007 there.
I'm going with Will Ferrell, but I want him from like his what is it? Outbound and Down, like that. Like let the boy watch. Like his crazy character. Like I want him to be that extreme, like Phil Mickelson now, not Phil Mickelson like a few years ago.
But
like
that's why I thought like RDJ, he's got that, I think he's got that superiority complex going for him that would really work as Phil.
I think this is a solid picks for us here. So that was pretty good. So
the other one that I wanted to throw in there, but I couldn't. I needed Gosling in there. I wanted to use Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah,
somewhere in there, but
that would be
Ashton
Gator
Kutcher,
don't play no.
Austin Kutcher is my pick for Zach Johnson with the Ryder Cup.
Oh, there you go. I mean, and they're going to have other players in here. We could go on for days with this. So, it's a good topic here. But let's move on now to our next live topic, which is live trying to copy the Waste Management this week with the 12th hole in Australia,
the watering hole.
The watering hole.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Are they going to call, if they're going to do this, is it going to be called the watering hole on all their events going forward?
So that's part of this conversation. Literally, there's a video downloading. I want to show it so that everybody knows what we're talking about here.
But so let's just say this, and we'll talk about it while you're loading that, is they tried to mimic, and let's just say what it is, copy the Waste Management 16th hole.
Yep.
Which, to be honest, I mean, they are starting out. This isn't growing as much as it is. And in Australia, they don't get to see these types of players as much.
Hey, they were all doing shoeies.
Here comes.
And we got to give it up for Chase Koepka for the ace there.
Yeah. The ace, I mean, that's fantastic.
An ace is an ace no matter where you get it and how you get
it. Here's the thing.
So
with
not sponsored by TikTok.
Not sponsored by TikTok, right?
But with that, if you're going to do that and not copy the Waste Management, you need to do that every week. Yeah, I'm sorry. You need to have that environment every week.
But let's talk about what that was. I mean, it's literally the Wish version of what the Waste Management has.
It's the poor man's Waste Management. It's the Wish
so it's
version.
the Waste Management. But here's my thing: if you want to talk about what you're trying to do, golf, but louder, why isn't that hole? Why aren't you creating that hole at every one of your events?
And why isn't it louder? Because that's not loud in the Waste Management. It's a poor man's copy, and it's loud, but it's not louder.
I don't mind the idea of it. Like, I actually think it's a good idea. Again, I've said all along, I don't mind Waste Management one week a year in the PGA Tour. I don't know that I'd want to see it every week. I do think it would make a great environment for a Ryder Cup.
And we talked about
but
this,
for Waste Management, you have to flip the holes to do it.
Well, no, for Waste Management, if you had the Ryder Cup at Scottsdale, you have to flip the hole so you got to that hole. You'd have to make sure you got to that hole. But
here's the thing:
could you have done it at the last Ryder Cup at Whistling?
They had some great grandstands.
Yeah, they had some great grandstands. But could you do that for that environment? Like, if I'm Liv, I'm trying to figure out and go in. Okay, let's go back to their last event. Okay. And of course, we've all played multiple times at Cricket Cat.
Oh, where would you do that there?
6.
That's the only place you could do it, actually.
It's the only place you could do it. You might be able to get away with it on 8, but there's too much up and down on 8 between the tee box and the green. So 6 is the only place you could do it. You could have done it on 6 at Crooked Cap.
Yeah, and then but here's the thing: if you do it, like that's the thing. Like we said, like on the PGA Tour, once a week or once a season, that's great, and that's what makes that special. If you're trying to be louder and this like the younger, the bigger, the everything, then do it every week.
Yeah,
do it every week.
I think Live needs an idea like this every week,
course permitting.
That it has to happen. So,
but here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
You're going to have course permitting. Most of these courses that they're picking, like think about all the golf courses that we played. Let's look at. Could you have done that?
They didn't necessarily litter the green. They littered the tee box.
The other angle shows it was everywhere. It was everywhere. I mean, this is the event that there were videos online of people doing shoeys on them.
Hey,
that was amazing.
Hold up.
When you're in Australia,
hold up.
A fact of life.
Did Dave just get a delivery?
Yes, I did.
He did. From Will.
I just want to point that out. That was the greatest
from Will. He did get a
delivery. I had to call that out. I'm sorry. That was brilliant there.
Golfing Dad's Tavern. Train them young, boys.
It is.
But like, right. I feel like if you're gonna do this and you're like, if you're gonna be golf but louder, do it and do it every week. Make this your staple. Make this your calling card.
Here's the thing: it wasn't waste management, but I loved it.
Funny. I'm gonna point this out really quickly. There's another video out there, and I have it on my phone. I just couldn't get it to us fast enough. There's another angle from behind the green where they have a camera pointed at the tee box. And next week's guest has a product placement like front and center in it after the hole in one towel tag. One of their towels was literally on one of the bags. They're on the Crushers bags. They make the Crushers towels. So,
I gotta say, one of my favorite comedians took his shirt off on the hole. He's the machine. Bert.
Yes.
Out there doing live golf. And,
so I hear you're the machine.
I hear you're the machine. Fuck this. That's with Russia.
That's the thing is that.
Sorry, buddy.
This is what I will
Just
say.
got called out by my son.
Yeah, that's good. You're by your bartender, you mean?
I'm sorry, buddy.
I will say that I've said this about Live the whole time. They have great ideas, poor execution.
Correct.
Stick to one thing. If it's a team's event, make it a team, like make it focus on the team. If it's individuals you want, focus on the individuals. If you want to be louder and copy the waste management, do it bigger. Do it every week. That's where I think they're missing they're missing their mark on these things.
Correct. And the other thing that I think they struggle at, and I'm going to say this from a fan perspective, you had 8 events last year, which meant your product was only out there for 8 weeks last year.
Yeah.
And there's too much time off in between events that you're not gaining momentum.
And we've already seen one live player come out and say that there's too much in between time between events.
Yes. Yeah.
And here's how you fill that time, to be honest with you. Do what the NBA, the NFL, all these teams do is promote the teams, promote the yard goats, promote the aces.
The range, it's the range goats. It's the range goats.
Yeah, whatever.
Range goats, yard goats.
There's a team called the Cliques. Let's just come on.
There is.
Roadrunner's a yard goat.
But let's promote those teams and make me a fan of a team. Make me want to root for one team because I don't want to right now. I don't. I want to follow the PGA and I want to follow a player because that's. But if you got me excited about that, and you got me excited about this, that's how I think you would help grow this. I follow them on social media and I watch these celebrations that they show, but they're not like. I want a hype video for these teams. I want something that's going to get me excited, that's going to pull me in, that I'm going to buy merchandise, that I'm going to be like, hey, like I'm sitting here watching the Devils game because I'm a Devils fan. They got me in. I watch hype videos. Like I will tell you, the Devils social media, if you haven't watched it, it's fantastic.
How many times am I watching a Phillies game during this?
Exactly. And exactly. Like that's what they need to tap into, I think, to grow their brand. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All right. With that,
we can armchair quarterback this all we want, and in 3 weeks we're going to go, hey, We just talked about that.
Exactly. We
Right.
talk about this every week. So with that being said, the news about Liv, our third and final topic here, is they're going to be eligible for the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
So now you have Liv players that are playing three days versus PGA playing another. What's their mindset and mentality? I think we saw a little bit of that at the Masters.
I'm
But
just going to
here's
throw this
the
out there.
thing.
The Ryder
For
Cup,
Ryder
the Ryder
Cup,
Cup's only 3 days.
And
Yeah,
you don't
that's what I'm saying.
you don't play every round. It's a captain's pick.
No.
You may not play the morning session, you may not play the afternoon session. Everybody has to play the last session.
So, but here's my question. If I'm picking, I'm a captain, let's say, and I'm looking at the PGA players who are playing a lot of different people, they're getting a wide variety of competition. Where if I'm looking at Liv, they're playing the same people week in and week out.
PGA's playing the same people week in and week out.
No, they're not. Look at the field this week is different from the field last week.
The guys
that's
that
my
are
point.
guys that are eligible for Ryder Cup are playing the same people week in and week out.
Once again,
That's
Rahm
true.
and Finau, it is to a point.
A point. Jordan, JT, Rory, those guys. The top 20 that are eligible for Ryder Cup are playing the same people week in and week out. As a competitor, this isn't about PGA. This is about the USA versus everybody else. I want the best people.
Europe.
Whatever. I'm for beers.
Used to be the UK. Now it's it's all of Europe.
Yeah. Euro, whatever. You give me. I will take
America.
I will take
America.
Brooks. I will take Brooks hands down over
Here's
number
the challenge
12 or 13 on the list of Ryder Cup players. Give me
Are you
Brooks.
taking Brooks just because of the Masters, though?
No, I'm taking Brooks because he's been playing well on Liv. He's got his head back around him. I'll take Brooks.
Let's
hands
talk about the
down.
shot he hit that closed the Ryder Cup out at Whistling Straits on the par 3 that he stuff jobbed one.
But here's the thing. I think Brooks out of all the Liv players is the least annoying.
He's the most liked still.
He's the most liked from the guys that are still on the PGA. You could pair him with Jordan and it wouldn't be a problem.
Here's the problem you run into with the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup is about the team camaraderie in the locker room too, as much of anything.
Right.
When you look at and after we get done talking about America, I want to have the conversation about Europe too, because that's a whole nother story. I don't think. Okay, Phil won a PGA in a Ryder Cup year and was kept off of the Ryder Cup team.
He got lucky.
When was the last time a major winner? When was the last time a major winner wasn't on a Ryder Cup team that year?
Tiger, when he won the Masters.
Also true.
That wasn't a Ryder Cup. Yeah, no, that was the President's Cup year that he went and was the captain and won.
And
they got
captain, he didn't play. Yeah,
he did play. That was in Australia when he won. When they won,
right.
He was paired with JT.
But here's the thing: from a Europe perspective, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. They need Sergio. They need
No, they don't.
Poulter.
No, they don't.
Yes, they
No,
do.
they don't. And I will tell you, well, they need them as bodies, and they're still going to get waxed. The reason Europe got waxed in the last Ryder Cup was because they've gotten old, and all of those guys have gotten old.
They are.
And
Ian,
the one thing that the
and
American
Sergio
team has
are
done
old.
is we've gotten younger. So we've gotten younger as a team with a lot of young talent. The European team has gotten to the point where, I mean, Westwood turned 50 today. Poulter couldn't play out of a shadow in the last
is still
Ryder Cup.
eligible to play for the Ryder Cup, and he's in a captain.
When I look down the player list for Europe, Sergio, I mean, there was a time that Sergio wasn't even a pick.
Ooh, Rob?
Sam Horsfield, Martin Keimer, like you go down the list and you're like, and I'm going to say this, a guy that lives here in Orlando that we know, Graham,
Yeah.
should probably be a Ryder Cup captain at some point. Let's just call it what it is. Should be a Ryder Cup captain at some point. Probably lost his chance to be a Ryder Cup captain by going to Live.
That could change, though.
It could change.
It could change. Although I think they will stick to that after the whole Henrik Stenson thing. But if you go down the list, Mito, Pereira.
Here's the thing. Here's the one thing that I've always said that makes Europe always competitive in the Ryder Cup is their camaraderie.
Correct.
They play and as a team. They are there cheering each other on. They are hyping each other up, which when the U.S. wasn't doing well, that's what we were not doing well at. We had the higher ranked players.
Well, you
but
put
they had the
Tiger
better
and
team.
Phil. You put Tiger and Phil together in a pairing, and it just didn't work.
But it doesn't matter. It's they're still playing golf. They're still playing the game that they know how to play. But when you're playing as a team, it's the 1980 U.S. hockey team. You put together a team that can play together.
Right.
I'm going to use hockey references. Come on.
Well, it goes back to our idea of why these guys should all have been in New Orleans last week.
Exactly.
Playing in the event in New
You
Orleans.
have to be in that mindset.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, the Devils scored. It was tied.
That's what I thought that was. I just think that when you look at where we're at with what golf is, when I look down the list of players, like Paul Casey at this point, not going to play in a Ryder Cup team.
No.
Taylor Gooch, last week's winner, would you take him for the Ryder Cup team?
You're going to have
Maybe.
Fitzpatrick and
I might take
Fitzpatrick and Rory.
I think that like Bryson, who's going to take Bryson? Who do you pair Bryson with?
Nobody.
I mean,
like I
the
said,
one guy that you could have paired Bryson with would have been Tiger.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tiger hasn't talked to him since going to Live.
Yeah. Like I said, Brooks right now is my one pick out of Live. Because he pairs the best with all the remaining with the PGA guys.
Correct.
He's the least Live of the Live golfers.
He's the easy choice, though.
Yes.
But he's also the one that like he went. I mean, I think Harold Varner's a good choice, but I don't think his game's up to the Ryder Cup right now.
No.
But he gets along with everyone on there. He gets along with.
I still think DJ. I still think DJ in a pinch would be a good choice.
I think here's the thing: DJ and Brooks are kind of the same thing. They're very nonchalant about it. They're not in your face about this Live stuff. Like that's where I think Mickelson gets himself in trouble. Is he's just over the top about it, and that's where I think Liv gets himself in trouble. Is just trying to like fight the PGA instead of just being like, "Hey, we have a different product. Come see our product instead."
Right.
So
I don't need Greg Norman spouting off and saying all the Live players are going to be there when we celebrate the Ryder Cup victory. No,
or the Masters win when one of our players wins a major.
Yeah,
but if he does the same thing for the Ryder Cup, saying, "Oh, our team," like, but it's like
I also feel like, by the way, it's probably in their contract that they need to do that, based on the contract that I saw.
So you want like Sergio and Poulter there celebrating a Live golfer that won a Ryder Cup for the U.S.
Yeah, like exactly.
That doesn't make sense.
No, I don't like. From a major perspective, I feel like it's in their contract that if they're playing in that major and they've made the cut on the weekend and they didn't go home, they need to be on the 18th green to celebrate with their former Live player.
Right. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that as a major, not at the Ryder Cup.
Here's the thing.
It won't happen at the Ryder Cup.
The Ryder Cup is outside the boundaries of everything.
It is. Yeah. But I am fine with bringing Live players over. And you know what? First of all, don't go to this whole Masters thing where they were wearing their like team knit logo stuff. Like you're wearing the USA stuff. If you're on Team USA, be that team player, be there the whole time, have that camaraderie together. And then I don't care who you bring over if they bring back the cup.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Have the cup at home. That's all that matters.
Now, let's talk about this angle. So the PGA of America and the RNA run the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
When it comes to the President's Cup's run by the PGA Tour. Is it the same opinion for the President's Cup? Let's just throw it out there. If we're going to talk about it, let's throw it out there.
Hold on. So is our opinion or Jay's opinion? Let's just be honest. That's a different story.
Right.
Which one of the three of us has actually sat down and watched the President's Cup match?
I watch the President's Cup all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. But we watch it because we care. The Ryder Cup gets people involved with golf that only watch golf. Greg, I'll throw a name out that you and I both know very well, Don Holowicki. Don cares about golf when Tiger is playing. Don cares about golf when the Ryder Cup because it's America.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The Ryder Cup is the more historic one that is back to like the history of golf.
It's the three of us sitting. Yeah, it's the three of us sitting here and every other golf junkie that's out there that watches the President's Cup. It's the average fan that is out there that watches golf. One, because of Tiger, two, because of the Ryder Cup and what it means. I'm
gonna get castrated for this. The President's Cup is the Live Tour, and the PGA is the Ryder Cup. I'm just gonna say it.
Wow.
I'm not to argue with you.
I'm not gonna. I mean, that's like me saying that was the Wish version of waste management.
But here's my caveat to that: is that the President's Cup does it right and makes it's a more exciting, I think, of the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup is the historic. So the Ryder Cup is more like Augusta.
Yes.
And yes.
The President's Cup is waste management.
Like the PGA. No, the word waste management.
You said it, and I'm gonna go with it. Why don't they take, other than the fact that it's Augusta, how about a Ryder Cup at Augusta?
Augusta would never let it happen.
Why not, though?
I know. Why not, though?
Why not?
Like, let's go down that road.
Hear me out. You do back-to-back Augusta National in the U.S. and St. Andrews back-to-back Ryder Cup.
I mean, wow, that's a whole topic for another time.
Come on,
but amazing.
Could Augusta be in that prime condition during the summer for the Ryder Cup?
They do the Ryder Cup in October. They do it in September, October. Augusta reopens in October every year.
Yeah.
Like, do you move it opening week? They tend to use northern golf courses for the Ryder Cup. Let's be real. And it's right at like the end of season. Like when it was at the country club, like they come to Kiowa, and that's still like that Kiowa and then the 99 Ryder Cup and Brookline are still probably the two greatest U.S. moments of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
But like when you look at the golf courses they typically use, they use Medina, they use Oak Hill, they use like when you go down the list, they use Hazeltine. Like they've got all these northern golf courses that they use.
They use a lot.
Why not have it at Augusta National?
USGA courses.
So if you're from Augusta and drinking out of the crow's nest, or you're from St. Andrews and you're listening in tonight, put a word in.
It's the USGA and the RNA. I mean,
no, it's not the USGA. It's the PGA of America that does it.
The Presidents?
No, Ryder Cup.
The Ryder Cup.
Yeah, sorry. The PGA of America.
I think they're going to take it to Frisco and take it to their facility in Frisco at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that facility looks legit. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
like they have an indoor bunker. Like, I think every office should have that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Can we go play at Jason Day's facility in Ohio? Just
there's that too. I mean, let's just add that to the list.
We just need to have a Golfing Dad's Tavern from there. Live on locations.
With Jason?
Live on location with Jason Day.
With Jason Day. We just need to go to Ohio.
He's got 3 kids now? His wife's pregnant with their 4th?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's doing the fall again? Yep.
Anybody get a hold of Jason Day for us? That would be great.
I'll swing over to Ohio. It's not that far from here. So.
Crooked Can's on the way.
The problem with that facility, though, is it's close to Buckeye Land, and I'm
certain university that Greg and I
certain university that's showing name nameless. Like, I can't do it.
I'll say Ohio State. I'm going to wear all my Penn State stuff around it. So I don't
Yeah.
care. They don't intimidate me. I'm not Michigan. I don't bow down to them.
There's no I
Wow.
in Penn State. It's okay.
Come on.
Hey, Brad.
Dave's
Hope you're
Park
having a
is
good night.
ridiculous.
Thanks
Hey,
for joining
Brad,
us.
welcome.
All right.
Oh, awesome.
Well,
Well,
guys,
I hope
great
everybody has a
show
good night
tonight.
tonight.
great show tonight.
Great show.
Nate, thank you
Um,
again for coming on. We
Yeah,
enjoyed
thanks,
it.
Nate.
Yeah.
It was awesome having you on tonight.
Nate will
Um,
definitely
it-
get that ambassador information to you.
Yeah, we need to get that because I want to get some. I want to get some of his gear and wear it on the podcast. So
Oh, I was already
Yeah.
looking. I got to buy one of those quarter zips. That quarter zip looks nice. I need that.
that quarters that I looked at that and I looked at one of the t-shirts. So I looked
Yeah.
at a good t-shirt. So
I'm
So,
purchasing
guys,
that
just a
for the-
random pop up on my phone from Fox Sports. Rogers trade impacts odds. Are Jets now the Super Bowl favorites?
no, they're the Jets.
No,
Thank you.
So this is the best thing I heard. I'm just going to go with this. Someone said he went from being the best quarterback in his division to the third best quarterback in his division.
Yes.
Yes.
And he falls behind Tua Tagovailoa
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
as long as he avoids concussions.
it. Goes Josh.
Well, there's that.
Tua,
Can Tua stay on the
and-
field?
and here's the thing: maybe Mac Jones has a good year.
Or their other quarterback has a good year.
That's true. Who are they going to play?
I feel like they could insert. It's the Patriots. They made Tom Brady a freaking Hall of Famer.
We're moving on to next week.
Yes.
Okay.
We're moving on. We're just moving on to next week. We're worried about.
Well,
next week's
Brad, sorry, Lacrosse
We're gonna-
Landry, you're just going to have to watch the replay.
show. Hey, Jordan Love is your future.
Yes, he does
Yes.
fall in Favre's footsteps.
Jordan Love is your future.
Only if he wears number 4 for the Jets, but I heard he's going to wear number 8.
Should wear number 0.
Yeah. Theismann gave him permission to wear, or Namath gave him permission to wear 12.
Well,
But he's going to wear number 8 as a callback to his college days.
Okay. All right.
Fair.
All right. Well,
I might have to
Steve, what
change
do we?
I have to change my lucky number then on that one.
Steve, what do we got? What do we got coming on next week?
Next week we're gonna have Teletag. Craig from Teletag is gonna join us next week.
Big fan of
Excited
Taltag.
about that. Jalawi, yeah, Teletag. So
Great products.
Craig will be joining us next week. They've got a bunch of product on not only the Live Tour but the PGA Tour. So I'm excited to have him on. Talking about customization, which is something that we all like. So that'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great show tonight, gents. Cheers.
Cheers. Don't forget to tip the bartender.
Have a great week, everybody. Cheers.
Go Devils.
Deuces.
Close out your
Okay.
tab and have a great night.
See ya.